Hi guys, today we're diving in to complete a test spot on this 25-foot Grady White. As you can see, this boat's hull is really oxidized, chalky and cloudy. There's no reflection or gloss. It's been left outside for 2 years to wash with bleach, but today we're going to bring that back to a nice shine. We're going to walk you through each step, the products and the machines that we use, so hopefully you can pick up some tips along the way to get this shine for your boat or what to look out for if you hire another professional. The first step in any detailing project is identifying the right process. Here we're starting with a 2x2 test spot in the middle of the hull because this is usually where the worst affected areas are for oxidation. This small section will help us dial in the perfect method for restoring the entire surface, so let's get started. We are applying the product directly to the hull of the boat rather than the pad, and for this first cut we're doing 4 thick heavy beads of compound. Our first step is a heavy cut compound using a DeWalt rotary machine. We pair this with a buff and shine white double-sided wool pad. The compound that we're using is Starke Level R. This combination aggressively removes oxidation, chalkiness and surface imperfections. The good thing with Starke Level R is that it's a diminishing abrasive, which means as you warm up the compound, it goes from abrasion and finishes out as a polish. After this first pass, we're going to go back in for a second heavy cut using the same setup because we want to make sure that we remove as much oxidation as we can before moving through the rest of the steps. And doing this will ensure that we get the best clarity and gloss for our customer and for your boat. For this first heavy cut pass, I am running the machine at about 600 RPM, and you'll see that I'm running the pad on a slight angle on the right side of the rotation of the pad. I'm not running it flat for this pass. Now that we've done the first heavy cut pass, we're going to go back over and run the same steps again. However, this time we're doing 3 passes. We're doing the first pass at 600 RPM, running the pad on the edge. The second pass, we're going to bump that speed up to about 800 to 1000 RPM, again running the pad on the same edge and keeping our movements super slow. And to finish it out, we're going to bump it up to about 1000 or 1200 to heat up the Level R compound so it breaks down and finishes out as a nice polish. Here you can see I bump up the speed, and it's important to try and do that without removing the machine from the boat. By doing so, if you remove the machine from the boat whilst bumping up the speed, you're taking out all of the heat that you need for this compound to break down as it should, going through the process to get that nice finish and that nice polished look. For this final pass, we up the speed again and we change the pad from running on this angle to keeping it flat to the boat. This will help us get that nice polished look and keep an even finish going into the next step. And already with that first pass, you can see a good difference in how much shine and gloss there is back to the boat. Now what I'm showing you here is just one pass and the before and after of what using a heavy cut compound on a rotary machine with a white wool pad can do for you. To the average guy, to the average boat owner, this would probably be acceptable. However, when you get the light onto the boat, you can see that there are huge swirl marks and minor scratches and marring from the machine and from the compound. So even though there's a gloss, on second looking and more inspection, you can see that there's still some haze and a lot of swirls. With our next step and with the rest of the steps coming down the line, our goal is to refine this surface even more, get more clarity, and to make sure we move forward with no swirls. So moving on to this next step, this is our medium cut / polish step. You can see that we're using the same rotary machine, however, we're using a different pad and a different compound. The pad that we're using is still a buff and shine, double-sided wool pad, however, it's their yellow version. This cuts less aggressively and finishes out more like a polishing pad, more so than a heavy compound cutting pad. The compound we're using here is Starke's Elevate. This is a great hybrid medium cut polish, and for this we really want to get the heat into it. Same as Starke Level R, it's a diminishing abrasive, so we're starting high around 1000 to 1400 RPM, and as we go through each of our 3 passes, we're building that up to finishing it around 2 to 2500. After this step, you can see that the clarity is improved again, and some of those major swirl marks have been removed. However, because we're still using a rotary and a wool pad, there are still some swirl marks left over, and that's where this next step comes in. Now for this next step, we're switching up our machine. We're now using a DA polisher from Maxshine. This means that the pad spins in a clockwise direction, but also oscillates while doing so. This means when it comes to the finishing, it will be removing swirls rather than putting them back into the gel coat. We're pairing this with Lake Country's orange HDO polishing pad and Starke's Finish R compound. Our process here is still to do the side to side up and down pattern. However, we're doing 4 passes. The first pass is at 3.5 on the DA machine, and the last 3 are going to be at 5.5 to 6000. At this stage in the process, it's really important to keep the pad flat to the boat. We're not trying to do any heavy cutting here, we're just trying to get a nice finished polish, enhance the clarity and remove those swirls. After wiping off any excess polishing residue, we're going to go into our final step. This step is the same DA machine, the same pad. However, we're applying Starke's Finishing Polish Triple P. You can see we're running the same 4 steps, the 4 same passes, up and down, side to side, keeping the pad really flat to the boat so we get a nice finished section. You can see that reflection, gloss and clarity is really starting to come out here now from the test spot. Now under the light, you can see all the swirls are gone, it's super clear, and all you're seeing now is a nice finished glossy surface. Moving forward, we know the test spot works, our process works, and our steps work. So now we would go ahead and do the entire boat so we know that we can achieve this finish across the entire hull and make sure we and our customers are super happy. Now, if you're getting a detailer to detail your boat professionally, make sure you ask for them to do a test spot for you and to send you evidence so you can make sure and you understand the process as well as they do, and there's no misalignment on the expectations of the finish. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.